All right, family, Black Power. You live with the general. You already know we got that fire today. We're going to be talking about the African Etruscans, the Carthaginians, and the Phoenician connection. Very powerful connection. A lot of people don't talk about it. The Etruscans are one of the most secretive civilizations out there, and really is a major player, but is less known of than probably most. I mean, when you start talking about the Mediterranean, Etrusca is got to be in the top 10. Got to be in the top 10. If not the top 5 of civilization. And yet and still it don't even get an honorable mention, really. People have to really, and it's a reason for that. Because people, if it's something to be to adore, and to give praise, and then if it belong to you, you're gonna give the necessary homage and praise. Why is it that you don't hear anything about Etrusca? It's something about it that they can't claim. And because they can't claim it, it's going to change the game. It's going to change the name of the game. Before we get started, family, make sure you get over there to Patreon. Click that link at the top of the chat. We got other links in the chat that you can most definitely benefit from. Click a link, support the general. So the Etruscans, much in alignment with the Phoenician, much in alignment with the Carthaginian, very close to the Carthaginians. As a matter of fact, very close. As a matter of fact, the Carthaginians and the Etruscans, formed the alliance to defeat the Greeks. And so the island of Corsica, Sardinia, both had a Etruscan and a Carthaginian presence on those two islands. And there were also Carthaginian deities that were being worshipped in Etrusca, you see. And so I believe Astarte, which is Aset, in the Phoenician pantheon, Astarte. And so the thing is, when we look at and we talk about mounds, you see right there, that's in Etrusca. Now Etrusca is in northern Italy down into middle Italy. And it also included the city of Rome. Rome was originally a part of Etrusca. Okay, now Etrusca is dated around started around 900, 800 BCE. And that's almost 1,000 BC. Okay, and so it grew in the golden age is right around 800 to 500 BCE. This is where the Etruscans grew into a powerful civilization of independent city-states, and it reached the height of its influence. Now, this is one of the burial mounds. You see, they use stone, and this is because they were much like the Egyptians. They were totally different than the Romans, than the Greeks. They buried themselves in sarcophages. They had writing, drawings of the afterlife in their tombs, just like the Egyptians. And so they were, where you didn't find that with the Roman and the Greek and the European. They did not have tombs like that. They would put their dead on a pyre and they would set fire to it. You see, they would set fire to it. So the Etruscans were highly advanced in their salvation, their afterlife. Now, let me get here. Now, this is showing Typhon. Now, this is Typhon in Etrusca. And many of them are, give the imperials. Now, people know Typhon, that's Set. You see, Typhon was the most powerful, people call him a monster because they're going to always say that. You know what I'm saying? But he was the most powerful entity in all of Greek mythology, Typhon. Shit, Zeus needed help with Typhon. And so these two depictions of Typhon in Etrusca. Now, these are some faces. We want you to see the faces. Now, you can see that they woolly hair. You can see they got melanin in their skin, in dark melanin. You know what I'm saying? That nigga, you look like you see that nigga right up at the liquor store. You know what I'm saying? For real. You can go right up to the liquor store and see any one of them faces right there. Again, this is what they call an antefix. And so they'll be at the top of a doorway but again, they had dark melanin in their skin. They were not, the Greek, and you can see that brother right there, dark melanin. So these is the Etruscans that they want to keep hid from the world, and many of them were black also. Wait a minute, let me get up to it. Here's another one right here. Yeah. Etrusca, 400, 300 BC, and you can see the other brother to the right. You see what I'm saying? So this is where Rome got all his civilization from. This is where the Romans got all their civilization from. They got them from the Etruscans. Now, the Etruscans were brother with the Carthaginians. You see, now the Greeks called the Etruscans Tyrrhenians. They called them Tyrrhenians, and is it by coincidence that one of the great cities, the capital of Phoenicia, was Tyre, Tyre, and that the Etruscans was called the Carthaginians, Tyrrhenians. So let me get up here so you can see. Matter of fact, here's the let me see right here. Tyrrhenian, the Tyrrhenian Sea. And so, I could go in so deep on this, but I know it's going to take me way past my time. I'm going to have to, get a lecture together one day and do this, and bring y'all to maybe a 2-hour lecture. I might have to get it together, and then I could do it online for y'all if y'all really want it like that. But the Tyrrhenian Sea, and so you will see, matter of fact, let me see, I should have it. I do, right here. Now, when you go over to Phoenicia, you will see, you see Beirut right there, in the middle. That's, they say Beirut is old, but I've never heard of Beirut until recent. But anyway, if you come down, you will see Sidon, and then you will see Tyre, okay? Tyre, and so Tyre. And so you see that's the very pronunciation, of the Tyrrhenian Sea. So, and that the Phoenicians had dominated. The Phoenicians had dominated the Mediterranean from about 1000 to BC to about 600 BC. That was really their golden age, from 1000 to 600 BC. They still were very prolific, but then you had what they call the sea peoples. You see, you had the sea peoples, and then you had the Alexander and them. They came in, and from that point they had to go into Carthage, because the Persians had taken over, and they had taken over Canaan and Egypt. And then after the Macedonians, Alexander came in and took it from the Persians. Okay, and that was around I believe 1200 BC. No, it was after that. That's not true. No, it was around. Let me see. That right around 600 BC. 600 BC, right around that time. And so you see the connection between the Etruscans and the Phoenicians and the Carthaginians. The Carthaginians in uh the Etruscans shared Corsica. They both shared Corsica because they jumped on the Greeks, and they shared Sardinia. And also again that there was the worship of Phoenician Carthaginian gods in Etrusca. Okay, so that just show you how close they was, and that that just, and matter of fact, I believe there might have been some Carthaginian Phoenician gods on some of the Etruscan coins. Now this is what they temple looked like. Now, there ain't no Rome. Now, I just want y'all to understand that. Now, they might have had some technology and culture come by way of Greece, but Greece is still Kemetic. You see, it was also Kemetic too. So I mean, but Etrusca was great in its own right. It was great in its own right. So you can see right here. I mean, this wasn't just a little itty bitty civilization. You know what I'm saying? They had some depth, to their civilization. Now, another thing that when we started talking about the Trojans, because we didn't say, when we get to talking about the Trojans, that's going to come into play too, because they also out of that bloodline. Now, she's a demigoddess. This is Circe. Now, Circe was the most powerful sorceress in all of Greek mythology. And on this vase that was dated, I believe, right around 500 BC, it depicts Circe as an Ethiopian. You see, it depicts her, and matter of fact, she was a first cousin to Memnon, the Ethiopian warlord that came up to help the Trojans during the Trojan War. So that was her first cousin, and he was depicted as an African. Now, they say that Circe, the island of Circe, would have been on Corsica. Let me see where they say her. So she was in she would have been an Etruscan. She would have been of the bloodline of the Etruscans. And that's what's not being talked about. I have to get a date on her, but she was from, her island was in the Tyrrhenian Sea, and I believe it was off of Corsica. I had somehow it didn't totally got away from me. Okay, I think this one might be more to it, but I'll get the actual city that she come from. But right there, you see Corsica and Sardinia was shared by the Carthaginian Phoenicians and the Etruscans. And so again, the Tyrrhenian Sea speaks to Tyre, the Phoenicians, and it also speaks to the Trojans, all of that area. Now, what's crazy now, let's talk about it. The brother of Circe was also the king of Colchis, and Colchis is where Herodotus said he went up there, which is modern day Georgia, under Russia, Georgia, Herodotus said he went into Colchis and he saw Egyptians and that they were black with woolly hair. That far up, man. And so that's speaking that a large part of that area, all the way up, not what you call Turkey, all of what you call the Middle East, all of that was under African rule, even beyond the Caucasus Mountains, that they had, they had sway up in them areas. You see, they had sway up in them areas. Let me see if I can get Colchis up there. Now, this is Memnon. Now, I put that guy off for Jamie Foxx. He looked like that motherfucker, don't he? Look at that. See, I know it. I say, now that to the left, that's Memnon in the Museum of Athens. And he looked just like that nigga off of Jamie Foxx. Look at them, man. So, now Memnon would have been the brother, the first cousin of Circe, who was also depicted African. And this is the vase. This is the vase right here. This is the vase right here, so y'all can see it, so y'all don't think that I'm just, you know what I'm saying, depict her. And it's in Oxford University. It was created 425 to 375 BC. Okay? And that's her, and her brother ruled over the nation of Colchis, where Herodotus said that he saw ancient Egyptians with black skin and woolly hair. So this is very profound that we talk about this Carthaginian, Etruscan, Phoenician connection, including the Trojans, including that whole area, including the early Greeks. The Mediterranean was African, okay? It was African. The civilizations that were established on the Mediterranean were African. And this would have been, now this particular, and this is going to be the last one I'm going to show, this particular vase of an Ethiopian is from Etrusca, okay? So that any which way you want it gold, Africans was in Etrusca, you see, and many of them became the first emperors of the Roman kingdom. It was a kingdom first, then it became a republic. I think they had kings, then they had it went into a republic, and then they became Caesars. That was the last. That's when it became an empire. But in the earliest stage, Etruscans were kings of the Roman kingdom. Yeah, they were kings. So blacks even sat as kings of Rome. This is the reality of that. And now you wonder why you don't get no mention about Etrusca being the foundation of Rome. So I want to, I'm glad I was able to, put something out here for y'all to get a witness of the strength of the general. You know what I'm saying? I can take you where nobody can take you and show you things nobody else can show you. Make sure you tap in. Make sure you click Patreon, because I'm gonna work out with a lot of these visuals tonight. So make sure you tap in. I'll in a minute, and I appreciate you being here with me on General Seti Sarasun Seti's YouTube page. Thank you very much. Black Power.